You should already understand that if God were to help you right now, in most cases, He will help you through who? Men. So you should, as much as possible, keep a wonderful relationship with the men and women you find in your life. Now, there is this fact you should understand. Your destiny helpers might not believe the same thing you believe, yet God sent them to help you. There are some Christians that said, I would not do business with Muslims. Foolishness. I will not do business with atheists. Foolishness. I will not do business with someone who is not from my church. Foolishness. You must not have the closest relationship with them. Sometimes God just set them up there strategically to help you do what you want to do. While I was studying in the University of Sunderland, I met one young man. I believe all my time there, that young man was instrumental to helping me navigate through life. But he was not a Christian, actually. He was a core Muslim. When my sister came and I was a little bit, he was one that ran and did a lot of things. He was doing those things, helping me, doing this, but he was a Muslim. And I myself, I'm a pastor. Sometimes when you see some of these things, you want to ask why. Now listen carefully. I want to make this thing categorically clear. There are certain things in your life that God, if a Christian or somebody of the same faith with you is not available, for your process not to be thwarted, God can send someone to fill in the gap. Are you listening to me? These people might not have your soul friendship. Imagine, the daughter of the oppressor was the one who was keeping the Savior. The daughter of the oppressor was the one who God had put in charge to keep the liberator. What if that woman came and said, no, you are the one who has been keeping us here. We don't want you. What will happen? How will God send another person? The mother found out that this boy was so special. And the backlog of this story is that if they find that boy will go straight into slavery or will be killed. But God strategically brought that lady there, kept her there so that when you see this boy, keep this boy for me. In fact, God had to go put Moses through a lot of things. There is a difference between a destiny helper and a soulmate. Don't mix the two of them together. A believer will make mistake, a grave mistake, into entering into the covenant of marriage with somebody who is not in the same faith with him. That's not what I meant. So now you now say, Pastor now said I can marry anybody. And God has put that person in my life. That's not what I said. I need to balance it and clear it. So that you don't come tomorrow and tell me, Pastor, say, is this person a believer? I say, no. At least God is the will of God. His destiny helper. I also want to say this. When you get married, your spouse is not the only destiny helper you have. Allow them access certain relationships because you cannot do everything for your spouse. Are you listening to me? No, this one is very critical. This one is dicey. Let me give you an example. A young man has been, you're being helped by somebody, and this person has been very critical to your life, helping you push. The first job you got, the person was the one who, spoke for you. The first car was the one who made this. And then once you get married, you now got married maybe to a man, and then this man now says, you know what, you have me, you don't need any other person, Anything you need, I'm your best friend, I'm your this and your that, I'm your this and that. So don't have any relationship with any other person. Your husband will not do all of that. Your wife will not do all of that. So you should also allow your spouse to maintain certain key relationships as long as it is not shady. As long as it's not against the tenets of the covenant of marriage and that of the moral standard of the society. Because there are spouses who want to isolate their partners after marriage. No, that does not make sense. Because what you will do is that it will make those people lose key relationships in their lives, and it will come back to haunt the family. The people you still need to get close to, even after you've gotten married. That's a business for another day. But the point I'm trying to make from this chapter of the Bible is that, okay, let's go to the story of Jesus. Let's go to the story of Jesus. Who told you that the wise men from the east were believers? Do you know those people who came to Jesus who were magicians? Huh? When Jesus was about to be saved from the impending wrath of Herod, where did God take him? He took him to a hidden nation, Egypt. Obviously, someone took them in. Listen carefully. All through your life, don't think that everybody God will send to help you must be of the same faith with you, must believe the same thing you believe. If you do that, you are going to limit the hand of God in your life. Do you know that one of the biggest sponsors of Christo Feast is a Muslim? How many of you know that? Do you know that in ministry you will find out, when you get into active ministry, you might find out that your biggest sponsors might not even be anywhere near the church you are pastoring. As you are, yes. You are not the one who is responsible for raising those men up in your life. It is God. He keeps them at strategic places. Why He's doing it is so that His work in your life can progress. So don't have this myopic, narrow-minded mindset. This is not being on an unequal yoke with unbelievers. People can be helping you. You don't share most values with them, and they can be helping you achieve whatsoever you want to achieve. And you are telling them the truth, and they know that you cannot change in your systems. Now look at where the problem is. Maybe you are doing business with unbelievers, or this person is helping you, or maybe God sent this person to be a destiny helper to your life, and then all of a sudden, by the virtue of that relationship, you start misbehaving. You start reducing your standards as a believer. That's where the problem is. Have you ever heard about contact without contamination? Have you ever heard about contact without contamination? It is one of the essential keys to managing the ministry of men outside same belief. Someone will come up to me and say, I cannot work for a Muslim boss. I cannot work for an atheist. What are you saying? As long as he does not tell me to denounce my God. If he tells me to denounce my God, he already knows where my choice is. Take your job, leave my faith for me. Imagine Daniel said, listen, Daniel the prophet was taken to the house of Nebuchadnezzar, of Darius. was taken to his house. You know, he was taken as a slave boy. He grew up there. But he had his faith still intact. If you were the one, what are you going to say? You're going to sing, how can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Is that not what you're going to say? Is that not what you're going to sing? Say, Lord, kill me. It's very clear now that you don't need me here. Kill me. No. God used him. God used people who were rough hidden to even shape in the process of that. They taught him science. If you were in Israel, you would not have learned science. So please don't limit the ministry of men to your sector of faith. The only people God can send to me are a man of God like me, a 5-star reverend like me. It must only be Christians. If not Christians, I don't want them. It's not true. Let me give you another example. When Jesus, when the children of Israel, when they sent a spy, was it not a harlot that God used Rahab? Was it not a harlot that God used as a destiny helper to the spies to help them escape? What if they said, why should we contaminate ourselves with this? They will kill them there and they will bring no report. The problem is, look at where the issue is now. If that harlot came to save you and you went to sleep with the harlot, they will kill you and kill the harlot. God can send anybody to help you, but you must not buy into their standards. God can send anybody to bring you out, but as they are bringing you out, don't also bring their God with them. What destroyed Solomon? When he was bringing women into his kingdom, they were coming with their gods. If they were just coming and going, no problem. But he now went into a yoke with them. Now, continue from my series last week. We talked about a few people that we should meet. And one of those persons we said is an uncommon spouse. True or false? True or false? Let me make this very clear before I go into the next person you should meet. If your spouse or the person you want to get married to is not a believer, that person is common, regardless of the riches. No, you don't want to like this one. I know you choose which one to pick in pastor's messages. Oh, man of God, this guy is cute. You should see him. He's a good person. He speaks to my call. Man of God, this guy does not give me trouble. He just understands me. He just finds a way to, just everything is just. And then I ask the question, is he a believer? Man of God, you will not understand. That's not what we are talking about. The covenant of marriage is that deep that you don't get into it with someone who is not in the same faith with you. I think that the only covenant that supersedes the covenant of marriage is the covenant of life. Is the what? Covenant of what? Life. That was the only covenant that was instituted before the covenant of marriage, actually. So that's why actually, I don't know if I'm to say this, but that's why if a person's life is threatened in a marriage, a person has a ground to leave that marriage. Yes, because life supersedes marriage. So if life is at risk, marriage is nowhere. If you don't know that, it's the scripture. You cannot kill somebody. So if they want to kill you, come out. Better stay on your own than killing you. Now this one you don't believe your pastor is saying this one too. That's why you have to be careful. So that you don't go to people who want to kill you. So this morning I'm here to tell you categorically clear that you can get your destiny helper through the right choice of who you marry. Hey, but listen, you can also get a destiny destroyer through the person you will marry. Marriage is so key in life that Satan and God wants to have place in that place, in that junction. Satan and God are just waiting. They are looking for that junction because they know that junction can push you forward or bring you back. That's why you must be careful in your choice. Satan has anointed people for you if you don't know. God has anointed people for you if you don't know. Do you know that? Oh, I think I just wish it's 14th of February already. Do you know that everybody you see when you pray during marriage might not be God's vision? You know, sometimes when you see people when you pray, sometimes it's a revelation to avoid them. Hello. Revelation is not just an affirmation. Sometimes it is to warn you. Hello? Can you imagine now? When the angel of the Lord appeared, listen. The angel of the Lord can appear to you and tell you and show you a city. Two things are involved. It's either he wants you to go to that city or he's warning you not to enter that city. So don't just conclude that he's telling you that city is waiting for you. Sometimes this happens in ministry. Sometimes God will just show you. You will see yourself in Abuja or Lagos, and the next thing you just wake up. Hey, Lagos, I come in the name of the Lord. You go to Lagos in the name of the Lord. Ileka, from Lagos to Ileka. Why? You did not understand the message God was trying to pass to you. God might be telling you, you can go to every other city, but this one, don't go. You can eat of every fruit, but you see this one, don't eat. That the fruit was there in the garden does not mean that you should eat. Hello? That you can see it does not mean you should eat it. Do you know that young men, you think you know how to pray till you start praying about who to marry? 14th of February should come and be here. But let me tell you, if you find, the way people are enjoying yourselves now, if you find somebody that will help your life, God has blessed you. There are people I was talking to one man, he told me something very strategic. He said that he has been with ministers, and one of the things he has found out is that after 20 years of marriage, they now understand that their wife is a good wife, but was not the best pick for their future. Hello? I don't know if I should say this on 14th of February now. Do you know that vision in marriage will supersede whatsoever? Do you know that sometimes the vision of a man, the vision of a woman might outgrow the spouse in years to come? Let me explain this. After 20 years and you get to the top, after 15 years, after 10 years, you might be in a stage where that stage you are outgrown the partner you picked. Hello? Am I making sense? That's why you marry for tomorrow, not for today. I think the best and the easiest scripture for marriage is watch and pray. While you are praying, watching entails a lot of things. You're thinking about tomorrow. You're looking at the picture of tomorrow. You are looking at, what if I'm here, and here? And this person is here. How would this person be here? So, for example, let me use you for example. If you were to be the president of the country in the next 15 years, you might not know that you will be the president of the country, except if you have a vision or you saw it. Will the choice of your wife be suitable for the office of the first lady? Or will you need another first lady? I'm just trying to provoke your thought here. God brought you to this service for a reason. The ministry of men. God brings people in your life so that they can strategically move you into destiny. That's why you see this spousal relationship. It is very critical. Because this is the person you are going to ride the horse with. So if you are going to ride the horse for 40 years, I hope the person has the strength for 40 years. And not the strength for 15 years. Are you listening to me? Is someone understanding what I'm saying? Okay. The Bible I they teach, I know key person. Another group of people you should meet in this life are the people we call disciples. Disciples. These people will help you so much in life and support you. Who are disciples? They are followers of your leadership. That's why in anything you are doing, you should have disciples. Don't go into something that you cannot train people. You cannot replicate in other people. Because let me tell you, Jesus has had thousands of followers. When it was time, how many stood by him at the cross? His family was there, but the majority of the people who stood by him there, who stood by him, were the disciples. The people who had believed him. Why? Because he gave them his life. That is why in anything you are doing, you must replicate yourself. You must recreate leaders. The disciples are not just the people who like you. They are the people who have followed you through the stages of life. They now believe in your assignment. They believe in your calling. They understand your calling. They understand what you are doing. The person might only, you might in this life find 2, you might 3, you might 10, you might 15, depending. Now, this now gets me thinking. The way you are now, do you think you have a disciple? Now, because you think that disciple is for pastors or disciple is for maybe the top people. That's why you are not getting to the top, because you don't wait till you get to the top to get disciples. Because your disciples will be among the people who will bring you to the top. You do not understand what I just said. Some of us are thinking that we don't need disciples because we are not there. The people who will take you there are part of the disciples we are talking about. Before Jesus ventured into full-time ministry, one of the first things he did was to look for disciples. Because he knew he cannot do it alone. Jesus did not get married, yet the disciples were very critical in his life. Now, a man can be in a bad marriage, but as long as he has loyal sons and daughters, he can still be very effective. Did you not hear what I said? A man can be in a terrible marriage. A woman can be in a terrible marriage. But you see, the loyalty and the understanding of loyal disciples can reduce that tension for you. People are asking, Jesus did not get married. Why did he do? Well, he had disciples. His disciples did more than what the spouse could do. Hello? And now this is one of the reasons I warn people. You see, whosoever, this is a critical truth. Whether you want to argue it or you don't want to argue it. This is a very critical truth. Now, if you're a leader in this place and you have people who you are leading, be careful about the person you will get married to. That person you will get married to dare not have problems with the people you started with. You know why? Sometimes it will take your wife years to understand your vision. It is the disciples that will hold that table for her. And because the ship will keep going, we will not wait. Am I speaking to somebody here? I've seen ministries collapse. I've seen businesses collapse. Why? A man was doing well, had a lot of young people, had a lot of people following him or following her, and guess what happened? He got married. The person that got married started attacking the very same people whose blood built that place. That's the end of that business. That's the end of that ministry. That ministry is done. She wants to now be the disciple and the wife. No. Everybody take your place. This thing I'm telling you is critical to your life. You have people you are leading. Be careful with those people. Oh. It looks like I'm making someone angry here this morning. Am I making... Jesus prayed out his disciple, even the one who betrayed him. Even the son of perdition. But you see those 12, they were critical to the gospel you're hearing now. And to me, apart from the 12, I put Mary and Martha. Because you see their job in the life of Christ. If you remove them, some of those disciples will run away. I'm telling you the truth. You see Mary and Martha, they were people who brought balance. You will not understand until you become a leader. You know, sometimes people want to just show off the Peter, the James, the John. But there's a Mary and Martha somewhere who brought balance in ministry. They were part of the disciples, but they were not the 12 chosen. When Jesus reappeared after his death, his first sighting was before who? Who did the angel speak to, please? Who? No, the mother now, Mary. And who went and broke the news to them? The people who balanced. So you need to be careful. Get yourself disciples. Don't get yourself followers. Followers will leave you at that time you need the most. Get yourself. You see, everybody who is saying that they are man of God, apostle, sir. When it is time, when Jesus was a minister, there was a time Jesus now asked them, okay, people have left me. Why didn't you go? They said, to whom do we go to then? Who are we going to go to? You have what we are looking for. Who are we going to go to? They've made up their mind that they died there. They've bought the vision completely. Have you not seen people? They are living in the same house with people who don't buy their vision. Who don't understand. You say, honey, let's go and fast. I say, fast. Here. Not me and you. You call your disciples, let's fast. So how many days? Say 3 days. So I was thinking around 7 days so that we can get. Be careful of those ones too. So disciples, they have the ability to serve you and the vision. They will help you so much in your life. These people are faithful, they are available, and they are teachable. One quality of those disciples is teachability. They are teachable. They are easy to learn. You see that boy that does not want to learn, that always wants to show his boss he knows. He's not a disciple. He's a follower who is looking for something. You need critical men in your life like disciples who, even though they might be older than the leader himself, because Peter was way older than Jesus, if you don't know. Yet, he left his house to be in the house of the person who he called master. Discipleship is not by age. After all, Peter had a revelation of who Christ was. They believe in your words and they put your words into action. They are your legacy and your posterity. Let me give you something you must understand. Archbishop Benson Ahosa has passed away, true or false? But I'm sorry to use this word, but listen. Archbishop Benson Ahosa has passed away, true or false? But men like Reverend Chris, men like Apostle Johnson Suleiman, men like Bishop David Oyedepo are still alive, carrying in the measure of that grace. It's not even about the blood. Because he gave his life to some. When he dies, he is not forgotten. They will grow. Get yourself some disciples, and then you will live. Jesus is who he is in our lives today, because the disciples made disciples. The disciples he made disciples. They made, and then they made the people who made us. We are a living testament of discipleship. Coca-Cola has been around for over how many years? 150 years or two? Yeah, I think 150 something years now. Moving from one generation to another. That is proper discipleship. Teaching the next generation how, and they're keeping it and taking it to the next level. The next generation keeps it and takes it to the next level. If you want to know if a business is strong, check this, how successful the successor is. Very simple. You know, sometimes this is what happens in this East. That's why we don't have long businesses with long span. A man is growing up. If he finds out that his business cannot be handled by his children, he still wants one of his children to handle the business. Whereas he has one boy that can handle this business. When you go to the West, you'll find out what will happen is they will give that boy that business, give him a share. But he dare not be a majority stakeholder in that business. But because he knows the life and everything, he'll be making money for the rest. Discipleship. If you don't want to be frustrated in your vision and purpose for God, get disciples. Because let me tell you, life sometimes can keep you alone. But if you have disciples, you will have men who will be around you. Like I just said, discipleship is not a function of your position. And wherever you are, you can be replicating yourself. Start from that small state. You can move to the next state. When Jesus started, Jesus was his fame. This scripture says it was later that his fame grew abroad. It did not happen instantly. Before his fame even grew abroad, he already had men. So don't wait till you have men, till you have the fame before you have men. Have men. Those men will give you the fame you are looking for. Get those men. Get those disciples. But you should be willing to pour out yourself on men. You should be willing. You should be open. Some people don't want to teach you what they know. Someone say amen. So finally, for today, because of want of time, we'll talk about divine connectors. Divine connectors. You need people like this in your life. Divine connectors. They are the people who will make critical recommendations in your life. They are the people, they might not be that influential, but they might just know somebody influential. Find such person and cherish such relationship. Have you met some of these people who have Nokia touch, but the who and who in the town is in that Nokia touch? Hello? People like this, I've always found them to have one Nokia touch somewhere. That's why if I see you have a Nokia touch, I want to know, why are you using that Nokia touch? You should understand my analogy. They don't have, a lot of times you see people having, there's nothing in that iPhone. You see money passing through Nokia touch more than iPhone. Sir, I'm telling you the truth. These people might not have what you have, but they might know who has what you have. The man, when you meet them in a city, just by your close contact, one day you might just decide and say, I need this. They'll say, this man, let me call him for you. There was one man I met in this city. If he comes into your office will change. The scent of your office will change. One day we were driving and he said, let him enter the vehicle. I said, no, carry your vehicle, let me be. I want to breathe well. And from time to time I help this man. But you see that man, if you want something now in this situation, if you can't get it wherever it is, you need people like that. Certain things you want now, you tell him, let's go to the community leader. No problem. You can't find it. Very backward looking man. But he's there for a reason. Everybody you see in life must not wear suit or white jagaban to show you they know somebody. If you have been to big occasions, you find out that sometimes the real men who make things happen are not the people who dress the most. Is that not true? These men I'm talking about, an encounter with them will cause closed doors to be opened up. I've met people in this life that they have a way of connecting me with people that matter without them connecting themselves. Tell me, I have this, I'll call this person for you. Like joke, this person will just call that person. This person will just call you. Yeah? Do you know that people who are walking on the street now who have the number of the governor in their pocket? Eh? Hello? How funny this thing is. Do you know that's the reality? You can be shocked that there is one man somewhere who is not sure of his meal, but might have the number of the ADC to the president. Men are not known by their appearance. It's good to package yourself, it's good to show yourself and all whatnot. But there are people who have real value, but not face value. Naaman, in the book of 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 1 to 3. A great man, a captain, warrior, had a lot of things, but was a leper. Something was missing in his life. He could not heal himself. Listen, everybody, listen carefully. Divine connectors. He had a wife. His wife could not help him. But it was the maid of his wife who connected him to the prophet. All his money, his affluence, and everything you think someone should have was there. But he could not help himself for all these years. The person who helped him was the maid to the wife. You see, that's why I tell people, you think you have money, you think you are this, you think you are that, and you don't need people. You are joking, no? The people God might use to help you, connect you to the next person, might be that person who greeted you, and because you think you are too big, don't joke with divine connectors. They don't go about saying, I have this, I have that. And let me tell you the funny thing. Do you know I've found out that, you see, these divine connectors, they are strategically lowly placed in your life. Lowly placed in your life. They are divine connectors in your life. The more you grow, you might just, sometimes it's just that person who is bringing water to you. Sometimes it's just that cup bearer. Hello? Now look at what the lady did. I know if a prophet. Because obviously, listen carefully. You know, there is a difference between street food and fast food. Information is passed around in the place they eat street food. Big men don't eat street food. There is what they call the word on the street. You only need street guys to get you that word. That's why in all that you're getting, you must also have people on the street. Hello? I'm telling you the gospel truth. If you want to succeed in this life, you should also have people on the street. Because there is word on the street everywhere, moving around. You don't know. Did you not hear what the King Solomon said? He says that the birds will return information, will pass message to the king. Who are those birds? It's not physical. It's not a normal bed. Street boys. Ezra, King, are you hearing what is in town now? It is not his prime minister that will tell him that. His prime minister does not go to places like that. I've seen, to a little extent, rich men. There are calls they cannot avoid picking. And if you see them answering this call, 20-something minutes, so why is this man answering call like this? Because that person that you see that is a small boy according to your eyes is critical to his stability in that land. And something that when they happen now, the moment you just do, instead of calling the DPO, just be coming down. Just call one guy who know they hear anything. He will still be the one to calm everybody down. You know, sometimes people will just come up and say, let them try it now. I know how to get military men. I know how to get police. I know how to get that. That's how you waste money anyhow. Something will happen. Like, who's even in charge? Who is there? Oh, I know this guy. Just pick up his call. That person you might be calling, when you are calling him, might just have been drinking. But you see that guy who will still go there and do much better than the military man you have gone and wasted money on. Just be careful. They know what's happening. At night, when everybody is sleeping, they are awake, seeing things pass through that city. Because you, the big man, you'll be sleeping. And they will call you, "Oh King, something entered this city while you were asleep." I would not tell you so that they do not come after me. But if you check here and check here, you will see something like this. That's how it's done. They will call you. Very small. Imagine this man discharged the advice of that maid. He would not have gotten healed. Do you know how many people have saved their boss from a lot of calamities? That's why in whatsoever you are doing, don't be proud. So that saving knowledge can help you. There are different types of knowledge. There's a knowledge that saves your life. There's a knowledge that saves your business. If you're not humble, when you get it, you push it aside. You pay the price for it. The summary of this morning's teaching is: don't look down on any man. Don't look down on anybody. This country is filled with so much intimidation. And sometimes I think even we religious leaders, we contribute to it. Filled with so much intimidation. Some people are making money in this country so that they can oppress people. I heard of a story. He said that he made 200 million, kept in his account for case. For case. He said, in his words, 200 million in German case. Is there any case that comes out, we go to case account? How many of you know this thing we call papaya? A man sue someone to court for blocking one from his house. If I were the judge, I would order him to pay me for wasting my time. People might not be as you look at them. Now, listen. What is the moral of this whole thing? Respect and honor all men. I said all men. Not the rich, not the poor. All men. In due season, you will reap the fruit of it. Honor all men. You can honor people you disagree with. That's why it's a civil society. Are you listening to me? You might not believe in the religious practices of people. You are still obliged to honor men. I think we will have to talk about that later. There are people that naturally you don't understand, you don't believe, your religious views or whatsoever. Do you know that? Listen to your feet. Our time is up, so I'll continue the second service. The second service, I will now teach on how to manage just 3 or 4 things that when you do, it will help you manage relationships like that. About 3 or 4 things. Hey.